For those of you who don't think that the white supremacist groups aren't alive and flourishing, this particular segment basically is going to highlight that. One thing you're going to note, there were several people that were injured, stabbed, and it was reported that the white supremacist leader who legally organized this march, meeting, whatever you want to call it, he didn't even show up. So he had his followers there, but he didn't show. It's also reported that he told his people to bring knives. So I submit that the majority of the stabbings may have been performed by the white supremacist group, but I could be wrong. Anyway, here's some information on that particular Sacramento white supremacist march and the counter-protesters.
At least 9 men and 1 woman are recovering from the wounds after violence broke out between a white supremacist group and counter-protesters in Sacramento, California. It all happened yesterday afternoon at a rally held outside the state capitol from the Traditionalist Worker Party, also known as TWP. That group clashed with an estimated 300 people. Video shows people running and being pursued by others with sticks. Some of the people hid their faces with scarves and masks. Police say the victims, who range from 19 to 58 years old, all suffered from multiple stab wounds. One protester told reporters she came out to let people know that racist and anti-immigrant viewpoints would not be tolerated.
Now, just so that you know, up in Sacramento, the majority of the anti-white supremacist people were not black people. They were Hispanics and Asians.
Shut down the Nazis, and in the process of that, they attacked us, but they were not successful in doing that on balance overall. This is about building a militant, integrated movement that's independent, organizes masses of people, and takes militant direct action to stop it.
A gun was found at the protest, but no shots were ever fired. So far, no arrests have been made. Joining me on the panel this morning is Will Jawando, a former Obama White House official. Lauren Victoria Burke is the managing editor of Politic365.com, and Gianno Caldwell is a Republican strategist. So, why are hate groups still protesting in such a massive way across the country, you think, these days?
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that Donald Trump is running around talking about, saying negative things about immigrants, and all of a sudden we've had, I think there's been 3 of these in California. I can't remember it being in the news before that. I'm not saying it is a direct correlation, but when we start having these conversations that are anti-immigrant and sort of pro-nationalist, I do think these things tend to sort of pop up, not just here, but overseas as well.
I think that what we're seeing is folks are very, and it doesn't matter if it be Republican, Democrat, Trump, or Bernie Sanders supporter, Democrats. People are upset, and they believe that the system is truly rigged against them. And we're talking not just African Americans, the system has been rigged against black folks for a while, but white folks in these middle America towns, these blue-collar workers, feel as though the parties have been slanted towards the wealthy and the 1%. So now you see a lot of folks believing that this is the environment to stand up and let their voices be known. Now, obviously, I don't condone any violence or anything that happened there, but I think these are the direct ramifications from that sentiment that many folks are feeling, especially white folks from these blue-collar areas.
But is it just this 1% issue, Will, or is it this, an uptick in racist ideology?
Yeah, I think, look, people are hurting. There's uncertainty in the economy. That's been happening. The new thing that is on the scene, and I think we have to name it, is Donald Trump and this, feeding the beast of kind of nativism and xenophobia. And I think when you have that, you have people suffering, and you have this kind of racist attitude, and you have appeal to fear, it's combustible. And so I think you're going to see more of these, unfortunately, because people are just frustrated until we have some certainty. And you're seeing that globally. I mean, and so I think we've really got to push back against that. And that's why you got to watch what you say as a public servant and as someone who aspires to be president or any
Also, when
office.
you get year after year of people ignoring huge issues, like 1 out of every 7 Americans living underneath the poverty line, and for the most part, nobody really talks about that, other than it's like Barbara Lee. I mean, I can name on 3 fingers the members of Congress who regularly talk about poverty, and that keeps going on year after year. No one's addressing it. Nobody's even talking about it. People notice that.
Yeah.
But let me ask this question, though, because we've seen 8 years under President Obama, and we've seen the direction our country has turned to. People nowadays, especially African Americans, you're Christian, you say, I believe in traditional marriage. Oh, all of a sudden you don't like gay people. I believe that we should have an immigration system that works and people come to this country legally. Oh, you're anti-immigrant. I believe that we should be concerned about terrorism. Oh, so that means you're anti-Muslim. So now this is the direction in which our country has taken, and people are rightly so upset. So when we say things like Donald Trump is, he's feeding the beast, is he really feeding the beast, or is he voicing? I mean, to a degree. I mean, you can argue that, but is he really voicing what people have been feeling for a number of years? Because under President Obama, and I say this specifically under President Obama, because that's when we saw the PC culture really explode.
Oh wow!
I'm being honest with you. That's when we really seen the PC culture explode.
People have been feeling racism since the start of the country.
But what if I say those things? Am I racist?
If you're saying that all Latinos are rapists, then you are racist. Come on, let's get real. I mean, what do you think? What do you think, Will?
No, I agree. I mean, I think it's a difference to have these underlying themes, and racism, the original sin of this country, have always been there. But when you have someone that comes out and gives voice to it in the way that it is now, it's okay for you to come out. Yes, you're frustrated, and it's okay, and we're not going to prosecute you, and we're going to let things, go. It sets up this combination of things where you're going to see extremism, and I think you got to call it out.
I
There's no
also
question
think
that
there's
the
a
tone has
difference
been
between
extreme, for sure.
discussing immigration, discussing these issues, and having zero solutions with regard to policy.
Right.
So Donald Trump gets out there, wants to talk about immigrants, doesn't want to talk about any detailed policy solutions.
But he wants
Things
to
like
build a
poverty
wall,
and
right?
jobs.
He wants to build a wall.
Well, everything's
But
going to be
no
all
one
right.
mentions that in 2008, Hillary Clinton said that we have to do something about those who are coming into our country illegally, and she said that there is a border. We need to put up a border. One can say that border is a wall. So I mean, people are
She doesn't
Donald
speak about
Trump.
it the same way
But
Donald Trump
no. But what we're
That's
talking
fine.
about is how he pontificates in this area in terms of these pretty much kind of
What I find very interesting here is the reality is, this president has also been very criticized by the Latino community, specifically in regards to his deportation. So, what's the need for this wall if we're already having record numbers of people being deported?
Zero increase in immigration from south of the border. There's actually more people come from Canada.
Yeah.
Now this is the difference in that.
We have to quickly back.
Okay. So we talk about the executive order that the Supreme Court just pushed back on, which is allowing for those that are here illegally to receive certain benefits. That's the difference.
Well, wish we could continue because I have a rebut to that, but we have to go.
Yeah, so like I said, a lot of this had to do with Obama and Giano basically talks about 8 years, not 8 years, basically 6 years, because once Obama lost the House, he basically lost control of actually following through on an agenda. And his presidency basically initiated a backlash as far as more white supremacist groups being formed, their ranks increasing, etc. So you can, I guess, blame it on the fact that he became president and a lot of people didn't like it and they have reacted thus. But you're seeing a lot of these white supremacist groups basically coming out of the shadows, and they are being given license by Mr. Trump, because they have gone so far as to say that Donald Trump is one of their own, and he doesn't dispute it, though he doesn't acknowledge it either. So if you can't say no you're not, then in my opinion, yes you are.